Good morning. India will soon be resuming international flights to France and the United States, and probably in another few days or a week or so to the Germany and UK as well. I suppose it's important to resume as much of economic activity as possible, but it's not clearly why this is required so importantly right now. More so since some of the countries like the United States, for example, are really the hotbed of the coronavirus infection right now. And keep in mind, the coronavirus started in India really from the international flights. India has, as we know, reached 1 million cases, and this is despite the fact that we have a reasonably big base. Our growth rate continues to be high, and India has a very high positivity as well, which is basically, as we know, the number of new cases that emerge from the number of new tests. Within a week or so, India will actually beat Brazil when it comes to the number of infections, and then we'll be the number 2 country in the world. But the possible good news here is that the Oxford trial seems to have come out with some very good results. The full details will be published in the Lancet on Monday, so that's when we'll know more exactly of how the vaccine has been performing. And if everything is going to be about work from home, why can't we have entertainment from home? So Netflix has just announced 70 new films, and as we've seen over the last several weeks, lots of new Hindi movies as well are opting for OTT premieres instead of the silver screen. $11 billion worth of deals were signed in the last 1 month. No, we're not talking about Reliance's capital raising. This is the value of fresh Chinese investments under the One Belt, One Road scheme in Pakistan. So that's an increasing threat for India over time. In fact, given the experience of how other countries have fared under China's One Belt, One Road scheme, this is also a threat for Pakistan, but clearly the generals in charge don't think of that for the moment. Our lead editorial today talks about how Reliance Jio revolutionized the telecom sector. That's something you can see in their numbers as well. They're way ahead of the competition in terms of the number of subscribers. At a time when the incumbents were not surprisingly quite happy with the status quo, it was our Jio that came in and really shook up the industry. So at that time, incumbents used to charge per SMS, per call and things like that. It is our Jio that introduced the buffet style, all-you-can-eat model that is now the industry standard today. And at a time when the poor were not considered good enough, or they're not considered that the poor could actually uptrade. So you needed them because they were large volumes, but they gave you very small amounts of money. So that's really what the older companies were content with. But what RJio did was that RJio came out with the Jio phone, which basically made it possible for even the poor people to migrate for 4G networks. 4G networks, as you know, require somewhat more expensive phones to be able to use them here. So the poor using the Jio phone migrated to 4G networks, and they started watching movies and things like that. It was only then that you realized that even the poor were actually a good sort of consumer segment to bet on. And now with the Google tie-up, Reliance is hopeful of getting an even cheaper smartphone, a genuine smartphone, because the Jio phone is a feature phone. So essentially they'll work on the Android Go, probably find some ways to make that cheaper. So the editorial talks about other ways, other sectors in fact in which Reliance can probably excel. So there's health tech and edutech. These are both sectors in which Reliance is already making forays. And keep in mind that Alibaba's health subsidiary, Ali Health, itself is worth around $38 to $39 billion. Byju's is worth about $10.5 billion. So if Reliance is able to pull it off, there's a lot of money for it to make. In fact, our second editorial today talks about that what the government needs to do if moves such as those of Google in health tech and edutech are going to pay off. So, but to get back to the Reliance Jio editorial, we point to serious regulatory challenges that India is facing and the impact that this has on investment levels there. We've spoken enough on these videos as well, and certainly in the print, on the role TRAI has had in actually keeping back the telecom sectors and even in playing favorites. And we've seen, for example, in other sectors like such as retail, there are different rules for online and offline players. There are different rules for Indian online players and foreign online players. So we're essentially saying that it's China that created global champions, or first local champions, then global champions, by keeping out big global players. That is not the Indian way of doing things. So if Prime Minister Modi really wants the economy to flourish and for a lot of these sectors to take off, he needs to ensure that because with good regulation, we have genuine level playing field for everybody, whether they're Indians or whether they're foreigners. Thank you. Have a great day.